The sun peeked over the horizon, painting the San Diego sky with hues of gold and rose. The city was waking up. Palm trees swayed in the gentle breeze. The Pacific Ocean glittered under the growing light. It was the 4th of July, a day for celebration, a day for fireworks and barbecues. But for Jennifer Johnson, CEO of Johnson Tech, the day held a different kind of anticipation. Johnson Tech's headquarters stood tall against the San Diego skyline. Its glass facade sparkled, a beacon of innovation and ambition. The building was a symbol of the company Jennifer and her brother Jett had poured their hearts and souls into. It was more than just steel and glass. It was a testament to their family's legacy. Jennifer stood in her office on the top floor. The city stretched out before her like a colorful map. She took a deep breath. The scent of the ocean carried on the wind. Her navy blue blazer was a stark contrast to the white of her blouse, a reflection of her sharp mind and cool demeanor. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. She couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled over her. It was a sixth sense, a prickling at the back of her neck. The tech world was a competitive one, full of sharks and cutthroats, and Jennifer knew that someone was circling, their eyes on Johnson Tech. The Johnson Tech building buzzed with activity. Engineers huddled over computers, their faces illuminated by the glow of the screens. Marketing teams brainstormed in glass-walled rooms, their ideas scribbled on whiteboards. The company was on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, developing technology that had the power to change the world. Jennifer walked through the office, her heels clicking on the polished concrete floor. She greeted her employees with a smile, but her mind was elsewhere. The threat had been looming for weeks, whispers of a hostile takeover, of industrial espionage. Her brother Jett, the company's COO, had been trying to shield her from the worst of it. He was the protector, the steady hand at the helm. But Jennifer knew she couldn't ignore it any longer. She reached her office, her sanctuary. It was sleek and modern, with floor-to-ceiling windows that offered an unparalleled view of the city. But even the breathtaking panorama couldn't distract her from the weight of responsibility she carried on her shoulders. Jennifer sat down at her desk, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. The company was her life's work, her family's legacy. She wouldn't let anyone take it from her, not without a fight. A sharp buzz from her phone broke the silence. Jennifer glanced at the screen. It was an unknown number. Her pulse quickened. She had a bad feeling about this. The message was short, chillingly direct. "This is just the beginning. Back off, or there will be consequences." Jennifer's blood ran cold. She knew who it was from. Virelli, a ruthless competitor, a man who played dirty and showed no mercy. He had been trying to force a merger, to absorb Johnson Tech into his own sprawling empire. Jennifer had refused, and now it seemed he was resorting to threats. She immediately forwarded the message to Jett. "We need to talk," she typed, her fingers flying across the keyboard. She knew this was just the beginning. Virelli was a predator, and he wouldn't stop until he had what he wanted. Moments later, a knock sounded at her door. Jett entered, his face grim. He had seen the message. The battle for Johnson Tech had begun.
"Jen, you need to take this seriously," he said, his voice low and urgent. "Virelli is dangerous. He won't hesitate to use any means necessary to get what he wants."
Jennifer met his gaze, her own emerald green eyes filled with a steely resolve.
"I know," she said, her voice steady. "I've never underestimated him, but we won't be intimidated. We'll fight back and we'll win."
Jett pulled up a chair, his movements radiating a quiet strength. He had always been her protector, her confidant. Growing up, he was the one who always had her back, whether it was fending off bullies or helping her with her math homework.
"We need a plan," he said, his voice regaining its usual calm authority. "We can't let him dictate our moves. We need to anticipate his next step, stay one step ahead."
Jennifer nodded, her mind already racing.
"Johnson Tech is more than just a company, Jett. It's our family's legacy. Our grandfather built this company from the ground up, and we won't let some corporate raider destroy it."
She thought back to her childhood, to the stories her grandfather used to tell about the early days of the company. He had been a visionary, a pioneer in the world of technology. He had poured his heart and soul into building Johnson Tech, and his values, Integrity, innovation, and a commitment to excellence were woven into the very fabric of the company.
Virelli has no respect for what we stand for. All he cares about is profit, about adding another trophy to his collection. He doesn't understand the human cost, the lives that will be affected if he succeeds.
Jett reached out and placed a reassuring hand on her arm.
We won't let him win, Jen. We'll fight him every step of the way.
We need to assemble the team, Jennifer said, already reaching for her phone. Mary, Tom, and the legal department need to be brought into the loop immediately. Mary Chen, their sharp-witted CFO, was the first to arrive. Her dark eyes scanned the room, taking in the tense atmosphere.
"What's the situation?" she asked, her voice betraying a hint of concern.
Jennifer showed her the message on her phone. Mary's face hardened.
"He's crossed a line," she said, her voice cold. "We need to hit back, and we need to hit back hard."
Tom Harrison, the head of security, arrived a few minutes later. A towering figure with a no-nonsense demeanor, he had a reassuring presence.
"I've already beefed up security around the building," he said, his voice gruff. "We're not taking any chances."
The conference room buzzed with a nervous energy. Jennifer stood at the head of the table, her gaze sweeping over her team. Jett, Mary, and Tom. They were her inner circle, her trusted advisors. But even their faces showed the strain of the situation.
We need to be smart about this, Jennifer said, her voice calm but firm. Virelli is playing a game, and we need to outmaneuver him at every turn. Our first priority is to protect our assets, our technology, our data, and our people.
Mary, her fingers drumming a staccato rhythm on the polished tabletop, spoke next.
"We need to shore up our defenses," she said, her voice sharp and precise. "Strengthen our firewalls, restrict access to sensitive information, and implement two-factor authentication for all employees."
"I agree," Tom interjected, his booming voice filling the room. "We also need to increase physical security at all our facilities. More guards, more cameras, more layers of protection."
There's something else. We've detected some unusual activity on our network. It looks like someone's been trying to install malware.
The room fell silent. Malware. The very word sent a shiver down Jennifer's spine. It was a silent saboteur, capable of wreaking havoc on their systems, stealing their secrets and bringing their entire operation to its knees.
"What kind of malware?"
It's sophisticated. It's designed to evade our security protocols and remain hidden. We're still trying to determine its full capabilities, but it's clear that this is a serious threat.
Jennifer's voice hardened with determination. "Jennifer, we need to find out who's behind this, and we need to stop them before they can do any more damage."
"I think I know where we can start. Virelli's methods may be sophisticated, but he can't hide his money trail. I've been tracking a series of suspicious transactions, large sums of money moving through offshore accounts."
Jennifer leaned forward, her interest piqued. "Jennifer, and you think these transactions are connected to Virelli?"
"I'm certain of it. The timing, the amounts, the destinations, it all points to him. If we can follow the money, we can expose his operation and bring him down."
Mary's right. This could be the break we need. We need to call in the authorities, get them involved.
The weight of the situation pressed down on Jennifer as she and Jett navigated the bustling streets of San Diego. Their destination, the sheriff's department. They needed help, someone with the authority and resources to take on a man like Virelli. Sheriff Carter was a legend in San Diego law enforcement, known for his unwavering integrity and his tenacity in bringing criminals to justice. He was their best hope, maybe their only hope. Jennifer's phone buzzed in her hand. Another message from Virelli. "Don't make this harder than it has to be," it read. A chill ran down her spine. He was watching their every move, toying with them. They found Sheriff Carter in a quiet corner of a historic cafe in Old Town San Diego. The aroma of strong coffee and spices filled the air, a stark contrast to the gravity of their meeting. Carter was a man of presence, his face weathered by years of dealing with the city's underbelly.
"Jennifer, Jett," he greeted them, his voice gruff but not unkind. "I've been expecting your call."
Jett wasted no time in laying out the situation. He spoke in measured tones, outlining Virelli's tactics, the malware, the money trail. Carter listened intently, his eyes narrowed in thought.
"This is serious," he said when Jett finished. Virelli is a dangerous man with connections that run deep.
"We need your help, Sheriff," Jennifer said, her voice earnest. "We need to stop him before he destroys everything our family has worked for."
Carter looked at them, his gaze steady. "I'll do what I can," he said. "But I need evidence, hard proof that will stand up in court. Virelli's lawyers are like bloodhounds. They'll seize on any weakness."
As they left the cafe, Jennifer felt a glimmer of hope. Sheriff Carter was on their side. It wasn't a guarantee of victory, but it was a start. Later that evening, Jennifer found herself in the quiet sanctuary of her home office. The city lights twinkled outside her window, a reminder of the world that seemed so far away from her current predicament. She opened her Bible, seeking solace in its pages. The Johnson Tech headquarters was a hive of activity during the day, but at night, it was eerily silent. Only the hum of the servers in the basement broke the quiet. Jennifer and Jett found themselves drawn to the building's oldest wing, a place rarely visited. Here, amidst the dust and shadows, they hoped to find answers. The air was thick with the scent of old paper and forgotten things. Rows upon rows of filing cabinets lined the walls, their metal cold to the touch. Jennifer's fingers traced the faded labels, each one a window into the past. They were searching for clues, anything that could help them understand Virelli's motives and anticipate his next move.
Jett, ever practical, had come prepared. He pulled out a heavy-duty flashlight, its beam cutting through the darkness. "There's gotta be something here," he muttered, his voice echoing in the silence. "Some record, some document that can shed light on what we're dealing with."
Jennifer nodded, her heart pounding with a mixture of apprehension and anticipation. The weight of history pressed down on her, a reminder of the legacy she was fighting to protect. Hours passed, each tick of the clock a hammer blow to Jennifer's nerves. Just when her hope began to dwindle, Jett let out a triumphant shout. He pulled out a dusty, leather-bound journal. Its pages were brittle with age, the ink faded but still legible. Jennifer's breath caught in her throat as she recognized her grandfather's handwriting. It was his personal journal, a chronicle of his life, his dreams, and the challenges he faced as he built Johnson Tech from the ground up. They huddled together, their faces illuminated by the flashlight beam, as they carefully turned the pages. The journal spoke of triumphs and setbacks, of fierce competition, and even sabotage attempts by rivals who envied Johnson Tech's success. And then, Jennifer stumbled upon an entry that made her heart skip a beat. It spoke of a rival, a man named Edward Sinclair, who had resorted to desperate measures to try and steal Johnson Tech's secrets. The tactics described, industrial espionage, smear campaigns, even attempts to frame Johnson Tech for wrongdoing, were eerily similar to what they were facing now. S1, I found something. Found.
"Sinclair," she whispered, the name unfamiliar yet strangely chilling. Could there be a connection to Virelli? Maybe he's using the same playbook.
Jett's brow furrowed as he absorbed this new information.
"It's possible," he said, his voice laced with concern. "But what's the connection? Why would Virelli be using tactics from decades ago?"
As they delved deeper into the journal, they discovered a series of cryptic entries, almost like a code. Numbers, symbols, and seemingly random words filled the pages. Jennifer's mind raced, trying to make sense of it all.
"I think this is a cipher," she said, her voice tinged with excitement.
Jennifer and Jett spread out the aged journal and the scattered documents on the conference room table. The weight of history hung heavy in the air, the silence broken only by the rustling of paper and the quiet hum of the building's ventilation system. The coded entries in the journal seemed to mock them, their secrets locked away behind a wall of cryptic symbols.
"This cipher, it feels familiar," she said, her brow furrowed in concentration. She traced the faded ink with her fingertip as if trying to coax meaning from the cryptic symbols. "There's a pattern here, I can feel it."
Jett leaned closer, his gaze sweeping over the lines of numbers and symbols.
"Maybe it's a simple substitution cipher," he suggested. "Each symbol representing a letter of the alphabet."
They spent hours poring over the coded entries, testing different theories, searching for a key that would unlock the secrets hidden within. Frustration mounted with each failed attempt. The weight of their predicament, the looming threat of Virelli's hostile takeover, pressed down on them, amplifying the urgency of their task. Jennifer's phone buzzed, breaking the tense silence. It was their Uncle Luke, her grandfather's younger brother, a man they hadn't seen in years, a man shrouded in mystery, who had distanced himself from the family and the company long ago.
He says he has information about the cipher. He wants to meet.
Luke chose a secluded table at a quiet restaurant overlooking the Pacific Ocean. The rhythmic crashing of waves against the shore provided a soothing counterpoint to the turmoil that churned within Jennifer.
Your grandfather, he was a brilliant man, but he was also a haunted one, haunted by secrets, by the ghosts of his past.
Luke leaned in, his gaze intense.
The cipher, it's not just about protecting business secrets, Jennifer. It's about protecting the family, about shielding you from a darkness that has plagued us for generations.
Luke's words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. The revelation sent a shiver down Jennifer's spine. The battle with Virelli was no longer just about corporate greed. It was about something far deeper, far more personal.
He revealed a family history intertwined with betrayal, with a long-forgotten rivalry that had festered in the shadows for decades. A rivalry that had now resurfaced, threatening to destroy everything Jennifer held dear.
Virelli, he's connected to this, isn't he? Jennifer asked, her voice barely a whisper.
He's just a pawn, Luke replied, his gaze hardening. There are forces at play here, Jennifer, forces far older and far more dangerous than you can imagine.
The weight of his words settled upon Jennifer like a shroud. The stakes had just risen exponentially. The pieces of the puzzle were finally falling into place, revealing a picture far more intricate and perilous than Jennifer could have ever imagined. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from her grandfather's cipher and guided by Luke's cryptic warnings, she knew that the impending confrontation with Virelli was not just a battle for corporate control, but a showdown with a shadowy legacy that stretched back generations.
The 4th of July dawned bright and celebratory. The city of San Diego alive with festive cheer, oblivious to the high-stakes drama unfolding within the glass and steel walls of Johnson Tech. But inside, the atmosphere crackled with a different kind of energy, a mix of anticipation and steely resolve.
Jennifer, flanked by Jett, Mary, and Tom, stood ready. They had spent the previous night meticulously planning their next moves, strategizing how to expose Virelli and the sinister forces he represented.
They knew that this was not just about winning a boardroom battle, it was about protecting their family's legacy and safeguarding the future of Johnson Tech.
The air thrummed with tension as Virelli, flanked by his entourage of lawyers and advisors, strode into the boardroom. His arrogance was palpable, a smirk playing on his lips as he surveyed the room with an air of disdainful confidence. The showdown was about to begin. The battle for Johnson Tech raged, but it wasn't fought with lawsuits or hostile takeovers. It was a war of information, a meticulously orchestrated campaign to expose the truth.
Jennifer, drawing upon her grandfather's legacy and fueled by an unwavering belief in justice, meticulously laid out a trail of evidence that shattered Virelli's carefully constructed facade. She revealed his connections to a network of shell corporations, exposed his illicit financial dealings, and unveiled his insidious attempts to sabotage Johnson Tech from within.
With each revelation, Virelli's smug confidence crumbled, replaced by a look of panic and desperation.
The authorities, alerted by Sheriff Carter, moved in swiftly, apprehending Virelli and his co-conspirators.
As they were led away, Jennifer felt a wave of relief wash over her, followed by a profound sense of gratitude for the team that had stood by her side through the ordeal. News of Virelli's arrest sent shockwaves through the business world. Johnson Tech, once on the verge of collapse, emerged stronger than ever, its reputation not only salvaged but enhanced.
Jennifer, hailed for her courage and business acumen, found herself thrust into the spotlight, becoming an inspiration for a new generation of entrepreneurs.
As the dust settled, a sense of peace descended upon Jennifer. The ordeal had tested her strength and resolve, pushing her to her limits. But through it all, she had discovered reserves of resilience she never knew she possessed.
She had not only defended her company, but also honored her grandfather's legacy, unearthing the truth about his past and ensuring that his vision for Johnson Tech would continue to thrive.
Standing at her office window, gazing out at the vibrant cityscape of San Diego, Jennifer felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle with Virelli had been won, but the journey was far from over.
She was no longer just the CEO of Johnson Tech. She was the guardian of its legacy, entrusted with guiding it into a future filled with promise and innovation.
She had found her voice, not just as a business leader, but as a woman of principle and courage, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was bright, and Jennifer, with her team by her side and her family's legacy as her compass, was ready to embrace it.